my goodness. Look at that, guys. We've got Keith Feastel back and back in his favorite spot back here at Old Hilltop. Welcome
Yeah,
back, Keith.
we are back. Yeah, a little hiatus as the A team came in. No, it was we're so busy with Equibase. We just got to make sure everything's good and set during Preakness week, and everything went very smoothly. I thought all through the weekend. I hope you guys got through everything. The times I got a chance to check in, it looked like everything was going well. It's such a tough week, even a couple weeks leading into it for everybody here at the
At
Maryland
the home
Jockey
base.
Club
Yes.
to get everything assembled. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of unsung heroes out there. I could sit here for the next 10 minutes and just
Absolutely.
name names. They all know who they are. It's a great family, TV department, gate crew. Phoebe down there, racing office, all of
Yes.
our top management, Kathy Bauk, our operator Val, taking so many calls. So everybody, I don't want to just not leave out someone, but they
It's hard.
did a great job. And,
It,
and, and with the elements that we had to deal with on Friday and
yes.
into Saturday with the rain, we got through it. So it was good.
One of the things that Maryland Jockey Club prides itself on, and the fact that horsemen coming in outside specifically
Yeah.
comment out this, our hospitality for horsemen is, I think, bar to
Yeah.
none, especially for the crown, the jewel races.
Sure.
But no, very proud of our team to get through Preakness 149.
Let me tell you something. We had one of our field supervisors from Equibase came in. She came in out from Arizona. She's originally from the Northwest, and she had never been here before. And she was just like, wow, she just thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved the feel of the old Pimlico.
Yes.
It's got that, that feel of a racetrack. Yeah, she's been through a lot, but she was like, yeah, this is great. And the hospitality, phenomenal. The food up in the press box. Hey, we don't get that, and I could name tracks, but they know who they are. We get taken care of great here. So that's Dave and Phil and everybody up there and
Yep.
all the people in the past that have set the tone for how we're taken care of here at Pimlico.
No, we fight for those press box lunches whenever we can downstairs. But let's go ahead. Let's chat a little bit about last week because it dives
Yeah.
into this week. Of course, dirt is fast, turf is good. As we had a little bit of moisture throughout the week, things are going to look fine. But carryovers coming into today, that leads into first our Rainbow Pick Six, 315 grand. Of course, that's going to be climbing by the time we get up there. Good card to kind of try and attack that from. I'll have a Rainbow Pick Six ticket for you later.
Rainbow Pick 6, we can go ahead and throw up our jackpot super high five with a carryover of 258. This thing's going to be monstrous in race 6 today. So get tied on. Hopefully you've got a ticket already assembled. It was a very tricky race to get through from a handicapping standpoint. You mentioned it, Callie. This is a great betting card we come back to. I've got some shots all the way through this card, and you may not need a whole lot to make a lot. Turn a little into a lot today.
Exactly. That's that's going to be the phrase of the day. Let's dive into it a little bit here at the start of this early pick 5. In this claiming 12-5 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2, going a mile or 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 6 on top. You have a nice stat on Sugar Steve.
Yeah, Jose Corrales, and I took a first glance at this horse, like, oh my goodness, negative drop, this and that, and then you're looking at his buyer figures, Callie, and you're like, okay, this is probably about right. And this is a little stat that we dug up. 8 for 29, 28% the last 3 years, moving allowance to claiming. ROI 483. That's really, really strong. Off of a break. He's had success with his runners off of break. He's got 2 runners in here. Perspicacious Boy, the 4-horse, has some speed. Off a little slow into a little slower opening quarter last time is improved. But I like Sugar Steve. This horse had a lot of excuses going back to that last race in November. Stumbled badly, bumped around, no good. Back to a sprint. I think this is his best fit. You look at who he beat 2 races back when breaking the maiden. Horses like Metagooch, one-way traffic, very fast. With an alert break, a Rojo into the engine early, prompt, and I think go on with it. He might be a little bit of an all-or-nothing proposition for me, but I'll take the shot, and I also like the 5 Box and Ben.
Talking about Box and Ben, let's take a look at that effort for Daniel McKenzie. Last time out over here at Pimlico 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're going to come back here in 14 days, and it was not a good trip. This is a 1 for 17 animal, Box and Ben. He didn't get a fair shot on May the 10th. In tight out of the break, and he's going to check again at the 3/8, but he does make a little recovery. He makes a little run, 3/16, up to about the 16th pole, maybe the slightest of flattening late. You see the horses up top. They're
Mm-hmm.
well off the rail. So Box
Mm-hmm.
and Ben back with an alert break. The opening 16th will be key for him. If he does break well and put into position, he's going to be very tough. 5 or 6 in here, 6-5, 5-6 for me to get it done,
There we
and then
have
you
it.
throw some horses underneath.
Why not? It's to start things off. 2-7 to finish it up for Keith Fusel there in race number 1. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4, but Keith, you put in a pick 3
Yeah.
for today. Shows kind of how tricky of a betting card it's going to be.
You know me, I don't like going over about $30 for these tickets. I'm kind of
Right.
thinking of the everyday player. You know, the bigger guys, they're gonna fry their own fish. They're good, but I'm looking out, and I think with this $15 ticket, you got a shot. 2, 3, 4, obviously Happy John to get you started. Probably going to be the favorite, Duarte Ruiz. Then 2 deep in the third with the 2 and the 4. Motuff. La Semana Laura holds value with 12-1 morning line. We'll talk about her in a little bit. Then we wrap it up in the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 5 deep. 2, 3, 5, 11, 13 for a $15 ticket. If you went to the fourth and the pick 4, I'll give you a couple horses early. The 2, 3, and 5 if you want out of. But we're going to stick with the early pick 3.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get some money and use it for later.
Value for play for Keith Fusel there in his early pick 3, and it does begin in race number 2. That starts the early pick 4, as you mentioned as well. In this maiden claiming 30,000, going 5 furlongs on the turf. Scratches in the 13, 14, and the 12 as well. The 15, Tear It Up, does run. Keith, you and I still end up on the number 2, Happy Jaunt for George A. Duarte Jr., Georgie Ruiz coming first off the layoff, but that worked out for him last weekend, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Not playing around. I mean, they're 2 for 2 at the meet together. And what about the performance of Grooms All Business? That was in the McKay Sprint. That was one of the best races I've ever seen from a turf sprinter. The run, he just got stopped 8th pole, swung out. Woody was in full stride. Just blew by him. So we're going to come back. Ruiz riding exceptionally well. Happy John hasn't been seen since October. Comes back first time Lasix, first time gelding. All these positive angles. I think disputed the pace going long. Doesn't need to here. There is some speed to his outside, but I think Georgie, I'll rely on him to rake close, make that pop move, say quarter pole top of the stretch, and hopefully get it done. They're not playing around here. In for the tag, second time out.
You sifted through and found one in the number 3, corrected pedigree at 8-1 for Gina Perry, Horacio Caramanos. I know exactly why you're going with this one.
Yeah, this is a strike rate for this trainer at Pimlico. You think Pimlico, you think Gina Perry, you think 30% right now over the last few years for this trainer here. That race for 16 was better than what it really looks because Surprise Hello came back to run a 75 next time out. Freshened up. I think sits the right kind of trip against this particular field. We did see horses closed on this turf course on Saturday. This one might follow suit here at a square price.
And you also have the number 4, Sassy's Class, Milan Milosevic. Forrest Boyce gets the call here. Of course, another first off the layoff.
Again, keying up horses. I look back to the 3-back race. Yes, off time. Got out to the lead, held well till mid-stretch. Neat, St. James the Great. Neat's a graded stakes winner right now. Freshened up, coming back with Lasix Forest Boys. What else do you need on the turf?
Exactly. Hi, Hope Pimlico, off we go. Keith Fusel, 2, 3, 4, 7 there in race number 2. Wanted to cover the number 7 at all?
Yeah, well, it's a Rodman shot. He likes
go.
Kinda Fonda Wanda, and I do too. Off of a break, the one sprint was good. Got himself a little bit further back, but he comes back. First time gelding, first time Lasix, new barn, and the 11. Don't leave Kieran out. First time Kieran here with a horse that showed some speed. 7% trainer to about a 30% trainer.
1 for 1 lately, synthetic to turf for Kieran McGee walking out of the stall. Let's go ahead to race number 3. Let's talk about that Rainbow Pick 6 carryover. As I mentioned, 315, 625 thus far. Waiting to see if that banner comes up with a little bit of an updated price, but we'll have an updated price later in the afternoon for you. Diving into this ticket, I also tried to keep it. I actually had a scratch in the 4th race that helped me out with my price a little bit, brought the ticket down $10. So we have a $28.80 ticket. But I do, if you want to spend a little money, put a second horse in race number 3. I don't go with a single on this ticket. We'll get to, I would add the 6. That's my personal opinion. But there's something a little bit of a structure to start you off for this big pool that we have coming over from Preakness 149 weekend. So let's get started
Okay.
in this claiming 12.5, a mile and 16th on the dirt for the girls, 3 and up. Keith, you have the number 4 on top, and this is going to be La Samana Laura. This is in the barn of John Salzman Sr. with Golden Hands Martina
Yeah,
Rojas.
and with that rainbow pick 6, Callie, with, a lot of people will sit here, well, I'm going to kind of wait a couple of days.
Don't
maybe
wait.
to the forced carry out. This is the kind of card, and I've said it time and time again. Now, I think we've been right a lot
We
when we
have.
said it. This thing could go today.
I agree.
That's how wide open these races are. So if you don't play this, shame on you.
You're silly.
Yeah. La Semana Laura. Yeah, a little flyer shot here. I think this horse is a horse that Dan Illman likes as well. Dan, a phenomenal job as always. Congrats to him, Old Hilltop Award winner. Second time routing prior on the PPs. It worked. She got caught in a kind of an extended battle last time out at Laurel, going the one-turn mile on a sloppy sealed surface. Gets a faster surface today. To me, looks like Lone Lick of Life. We saw speed hold well Friday, Saturday. Let's see if La Semana Laura can rate and take this field a long way to price. I do believe you're single. Mo Tough is the horse to beat. We've got video of the two-back try. Now, she comes back kind of quick in 8 days, but the two-back try was very, very good. Caught wide, 4 wide into Marley's Ghost, who was, horse has been pretty good form for Corrales, if I'm not mistaken. But you get to see La Semana Laura as well. She's handling the pressure. She digs in. She's battling Kaya Zalo, who's a horse I think is holding good form as well. But here comes Mo Tough to make the run. Actually gets the lead in mid-stretch. Just can't fend off Marley's Ghost. But I thought, all in all, Callie, I thought she continued pretty willingly to the wire in this particular race, getting back out to 2 turns. It should be fine against this group. Positional speed might get first run. I think Destin and Danska lay a closer early rose. I'd like to see Torrealba drop this horse in a little bit. 4-2-2-4 in here. You like La Maquina Rosa for Farrier, the barn, picking things back up here in Maryland.
I do. I like the fact that Jamie's riding for this one. This is where I play a good old exacta box on these two because you have Jamie, who's 3 for 10, going second for Farrier.
Okay.
So
right.
it's that Charlestown. While he's been a bit soft with it from Charlestown to Laurel, the Charlestown to Pimlico has been okay. 4 for 8 in the money, but I'm just way too intrigued. He's had this horse, I feel like, for a little bit at the Laurel. I like the time, the spacing in between. Go on and kind of zip this one up there in the midst of it a little bit, and then kind of just finish things out nice and tidy.
Yeah, she got it done, and she ran down a loose leader in Forgotten Gift. I always give a little extra credence to that. Forgotten Gift came back to run a big number, a bit in the mud, a bandbox. She got to the front and rolled. So it'll be interesting how this one is stretching out to the mile and 16th, how she fares. But a good pick up there with J-Rod second time. Always forward to 3 horses, kind of a grinder here for Corrales.
A little bit there. 4-2-3-7 for Keith Fustel in race at number 3. Race at number 4 is going to be on the dirt, a mile on the turf. Excuse me.
Turf, yep.
A maiden claiming 45. Scratches, late scratch in the 12, and then the 15. 14 and 16 to 13. Oh, what a night run. Do you have that horse underneath? But let's talk about the number 5 who you have on top. And this is going to be Star Lifter for Phil Schoenthal, Forest Boys. Let's take a look-see back at that last turf effort last year.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Behind Inchin, waited at the 3/8, so lacking some room, was patient, works, gets some trip here late to the last 3/16 of a mile. But Star Lifter, every step of the way trying. I hope the first trainer angle works. When I run into a trainer walking in here, Phil was the first one I saw.
Oh, there we go.
I said, Phil, I got you here. I'm picking you today. He goes, no, reports are he's training fine, training forwardly.
Okay.
Coming back off the break, good. First Lasix, all positive angles for Phil Schoenthal in a wide open race. Yes, the one's going to take a lot of play here. Ran very gutsy, come rain or shine. You've got this horse second for Trombi. This is akin to a really nice horse, No Mo Lady. So, yeah, but I just think race 4 is a spread race and a race that you just kind of take some shots. Star Lifter, not that deeper type of closer. Maybe we saw that was working, well Saturday. But I think positionally with Boyce, 3 or 4 out of it, leaving that 3/8 pole, I'll be happy and see if he can kind of go on from there, get the trip out.
Yep, kind of drift into that spot, sit chilly, and then strike when appropriate. I do like that 5-2-3-13. You also go, you choose the other Duarte Jr. horse, won an award. This one comes second off of the layoff, so has a nice little warm up over here to Pimlico.
Second time gelding angle for won an award. A good effort last time. Comes out of the same race as Enzo. They finished about the same going through the wire. Enzo might have had a little bit of a tougher trip. This one, bottom side, sprinty link, but top side, Oscar Performance, 17% with those turf rowlers. And you go back, the only time this horse went long at Aqueduct back in 23, that was a very strong field. I went back. Horses have come out of there to perform well. Good post position here at the mile with Caramanos moving out. Second time off the break, I think sits a very good trip. Enzo going to use, you're thinking one-run sprinters, or turf sprint with Caravel, Whitty.
Right.
Does have a Sib Mission Man that is one going long. A lot of trouble last time. Blinkers going on. It's second time Lasix angle for Elizabeth Merriman. 4 for 17, 309 ROI. It doesn't have a lot of true speed, but I think we'll make a steady progression. 5-2-3-13. Obviously, we talked about Trombetta. This 13, yes, drawing in. Went back and watched it. This was a horror trip from the quarter pole home.
Okay.
This horse had run, was unfazed down the backstretch with a horse to its inside who was checking a little bit rank. Got position quarter pole, then was stalled between, checked at the 8th pole. Tougher post here, but I figure this one to settle back off the pace and make a progression for Milan Milosevic. Spread race 4, 5-2-3-13.
With Yomar Ortiz also giving us a $79 winner on Friday, I believe. That kind of helps out a little bit there. But yeah, Spreadarama in race number 4. We'll be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Friday's card. And we're back in race number 5 in this claiming 20,000, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the straight 3-year-olds. Keith, you have the number 6 on top. Dance for green. Excuse me for a second. We have plenty of scratches in this race. 1, 2, 3, and 8. That leaves us just half the field here, but that's fine. We can dive into this a little bit. Race number 6, for Dance for Green, as I mentioned, Jerry Robb, Tori Alba, taking it to the lead last time. They're probably going to take the same angle.
Yeah, jumped up, career best 72 last time. Out one beating older, but in a 2 in life, bounces back up, though. A 2-time winner. Yes, he gets a major assist with the scratch of burning up the dough, scratching. Ruby's Flash also out. Maybe the Iceman Carlos will try to go from his outside, but I think Dance for Green will get first run on a horse like One Way Farrier for Kieran, who gets to walk right out of his stall today. A 4-time winner. This horse always tries. We have video of his most recent race against Paco the Taco Man, One Way Farrier. And he was under a ride early and often. Has to circle, comes about 5 wide upper stretch, but just the effort that this great son of race day brings every race. You love the effort. You like how he tries. He's here on his home track. I know they were probably hoping for some of the speed to stay in, but irregardless, he could still win this race.
Yeah, I think he is the horse to beat. Just needs to be able to make an easy trip for himself. Dance for Green could be another nice grab underneath. For 6-4-5-7 for Keith Fustel in race number 5. Let's go ahead to race number 6. Of course, this is our jackpot race, and we have a nice carryover from the previous weekend of 149, 258,786 right now. I will update you later in the afternoon for that. Do not have a ticket for this race, but in this starter optional 16,000, a mile and 16th on the turf. This is also an interesting field. Keith, you go with the number 1, Power Back, who I have underneath for Robin Graham, Gina Vello. I've always liked this gelding on the turf.
Yeah, I have. It's been a long time. Maybe he forgot the winner's circle where it was, but hopefully he can find it today. I like this horse. 8-year-old son of Haynesfield, Robin Graham, gets help with a few scratches in here as well. The main one being working on a dream, former Robin Graham runner. Power Back, I thought held quite well. I did not see him being that close last time.
Right.
Pressing that fast pace of Bosses of Powell versus Dan Tenius. A little fade late. Stretching back out. He's 2 for 7 at a routed ground. Inside, he's got positional speed. He doesn't necessarily need it. I think the flow is going to be in his favor. His numbers, back turf numbers, work here. Value, 10 to 1 more. Now, he might come down a little bit because of those couple scratches.
Right.
But I think he stays a long way here with an underrated rider. I've talked about Gene Alvello. He is riding,
He
correct?
is.
So I didn't get all those changes coming down here. So I'll use that one as a key as a price. I think 2x2, a reclaim for Jamie Ness will be very difficult. This horse is kind of raced back into shape here at Tampa, coming back to a surface where he has won. He's 1 for 1 over this Pimlico turf course. Has that good, sustainable closing kick that's going to work here.
And you also go with the number 2 underneath, just to kind of speak unity. I could just keep having faith in this horse for Lacey Gaudette. And then Shofar, the other Suzanne runner for Forest Boys.
Let's talk about the 2 real quick. Speak Unity out of a quick race last time. Just couldn't quite bring the punch that Midday Image, really back class horse for Jacobson, was able to do. But moving back out to a routed ground, it has worked well for this Gaudette runner in the past. Off of that 5.5 and looking at some of the scratches, he's got to be forward in here. I think the key with him is maybe just make that move too soon and then gets out there. Sometimes they'll wait and maybe try to hang. Maybe a boxing kind of trip is going to work for Speak Unity and let him level off that last 3/16 of a mile.
Super flashy end is what we need from him.
Yes.
Yes. And then let's talk about Forrest's ride in the number 9 Shofar. This is the other Suzanne horse. This is the first time Forrest has hopped on this one, but this one fits the part here. I think just needs another. It needed that race.
Absolutely. That's the key. Needed that race, just a little flat through the stretch. Things won't be as quick. We'll relax and bring a better finish. Her other horse, the last sip, merits consideration in here. This is a tricky little race for your jackpot. Super high 5. Invest. Hopefully you guys can be a part of it. Because it's going to be, this pool's going to be, I can't even begin to guess how big this pool's going to be.
Oh, give a guess.
500,000, 5.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Something like that.
That.
I'd have to go back last year and kind of see where we were. We did catch this last year.
We did.
The group of guys, we caught it, paid well. It wasn't as big as a field, and I don't think it was as tough to get through. This was a little tricky.
There were some scratches in there that certainly affected it as well. So the 1-10-2-9 for Keith Fustel, inside and outside plays in race number 6. Our jackpot super high 5 with that super high pool. Race number 7 is a starter optional 16,000, but this time it's a mile and 16th on the dirt. For the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 7 on top. Golden Gully. This is in the barn of Gary Capuano. First off the layoff with Carlos Lopez. 15 to 1 morning line, but I think that's going to come down.
I kind of see your angle here a little bit. If Tate doesn't fire from the inside, you've got Cloud Music on top. These two could possibly be a little processional around the racetrack if things don't get crazy through the first half, 5/8 of a mile. Cloud Music off the claim, perfect at the distance. He's going to go out there. But Golden Gully, Gary Cap off the break, going long. Here he is the last 3 years on the dirt. 6 for 15, 40% with an ROI of 697. I've got to take the shot. This is a horse from December to April of last year. Was able to beat a horse like Rusty's G550, Semper Fi. To go ahead and prompt Cloud Music. I don't know if he's quite as quick as that one, if the 5 really wants to go, but I can see him getting a relaxed trip. Lopez and Gary Cap have done some damage as well.
He likes that comfortable trip, absolutely. Let's also talk about the number 2 in your exacta, Uncaptured Storm, going for win number 4 in a row with Jonathan Maldonado, J-Ron Barbosa.
He's the now horse, isn't he, in here? He's won 3 in a row. Dropped down to the nickel, was claimed, confidence builder there, and it's been onwards and upward. This horse up close, dropped back a little bit around that final turn. Robin and I were speaking about this, talking about this performance this morning. He looked beat, but this is back. You think he's, man, I thought he was older for 4 years old, but he's 12 for 28. He just knows how to win, and he's determined he's going to make this surge. Works outside and then to the inside of a rival late. Shorter price, but love the consistency, and he looks like he's seriously back on track. And he might just get that flow with the 5 and 7, get entangled, say 3/8, and get in that duel. It's going to set up for him. It's going to set up for a horse like Shivery as well.
Speaking of Shivery, Lacey Gaudette Tori Alba, who she doesn't really ride much. In the 2 rides that she's put this rider on, 1 second, one of those being on the dirt. First after the claim, new horse in the barn. There's a lot going on here, but we've got that nice little punchy work on April 28th.
Yeah, a little back and forth north here between Ness and Gaudet for
Yeah,
chivalry,
yes.
but he fits well. The other Ness, Brilliant Chase, I think has kind of got that style that works. Stay around. He's going to have to move up a little bit off his recent tries.
Absolutely. 7-2-3-4 for Keith Fustel in race number 7. Our final here for Friday is on the turf, claiming 20,000, which have never won 3, going 5 furlongs for the 3-year-olds and up. Let's take a look at your top selection. Why not? This is the horse to beat in this race in Schweitzer for Anthony Farrier. Sheldon Russell takes the call. We're taking a look at that last turf effort from last year.
And it was a good one. A little issue early on. Didn't break super alertly. He's been a little bit closer in some of these other turf tries, but very wide, 6-7 wide when it's all said and done. Switches over to that left lead late, but closes just to miss. Tide order. We know what kind of what he does. So, allowance type, multiple winners there. Back to a condition race. Switzer with some speed in here to set things up. And this horse you're looking at for him. Maybe he just doesn't want the dirt anymore, and he's popped back from a dull dirt performance to a good turf performance, and you saw that in November. So we'll use him. I think Park Place, I like your top selection.
I thought this was my value play of the day. I thought I was being sneaky.
Well, that was good, and you look back, only try on the turf, a little bit of an issue, got in tight and made the lead. No shame in not getting – he got run down by Jack's Legend. Well, Jack's Legend came back to run big, only beat like a length and change in the Maryland Million, and another good try at an allowance. Hasn't seen the turf since. Shows speed last time out, but I don't think he necessarily needs it if anybody else just is hell-bent getting the lead. So Park Place, interesting price play. I like it, Kelly.
No, absolutely. The number 10 who you have underneath, I'm interested in Abuelo Paps for Kieran McGee, Carlos Lopez. This is the second time turfy for Kieran McGee.
Yeah, and you on the go back, and it wasn't an awful effort. But this horse returns second time gelding. We liked him on the dirt last time. We're going to use him in here. So, and I'm going to toss in, Brandon McFarland's horse.
Yes.
Popped well off the break last year. So I'm going to give this one a shot.
There we go. 8-6-10-3 for Keith Fustel there in our last race here on the last weekend here at Old Hilltop. Let's take a look more at your value plays, Keith. Let's start in race number 3 on the number 4, La Semina Laura for John Salzman Sr. and Martina Rojas at 12-1.
I think we're going to need her to clear. She looks like the main speed to me. She's second time route. It worked well on the go back. Hopefully it works well today at a good number.
Talking about your second value play of the day is going to be Power Back in race number 6. That jackpot super high 5, that big pool. You give a nice value play on top for Robin Graham Ginovello at 10-1.
Gets help with a scratch. Doesn't necessarily need to lead. He's run some big efforts going long, and he's run well on a course that's got some give to it. If you go back on his line, so he's going to be 8-10-1. I think Nessa's going to be the favorite in there, but I think he's going to be around a long way in race number 6.
Let's also talk about a couple of other big numbers. A record day handle on the Black Eyed Susan day. Of course, a winner Gunsong there up for the Black Eyed Susan, but we eclipsed the previous mark set last year by 28.2 million, Keith.
That's really good. Really, really good. The handle weather was nice Friday, and we saw some very good performances. I'll run down some buyers, and we can hold that graphic there. How about Shotgun Hottie with a 99 in the DuPont, drawing off by 5 3/4? She feels pretty in the Hilltop. That was really good. A 90 Buyer Fig. Mystic Lake, 82 in the Miss Preakness. The very one. Future is now for Trombetta, a 97.
There we go.
Woo!
Yes.
Man, what a performance that was.
That was so fun to watch, that filly just go and pop off.
Pimlico Special Pyrenees, a great ride. Inside-out trip to get it done with a 93. Right there, your Black Eyed Susan winner, Gunsong, with an 88.
She was so professional before the Black Eyed Susan. Her pony was having an absolute episode, and she had to pony the pony essentially. So very professional run. Very happy for Mark Henning and all those involved, of course, for this Black Eyed, the 100th running of the Black Eyed Susan. Now let's go on and let's take a look at Preakness last year. Let's take your word at it, Keith.
Oh yeah, Seize the Gray was able to get command inside into the first turn. Thought Imagination might stay latched on. Seize the Gray was able to edge away, got clear, and relaxed beautifully down the backside on towards, and responded. Upper stretch, they came to him. He kicked back away there at the 8th pole, holds from a little drift late. Mystic Dan loomed large. He drifted in ever so slightly, a little precarious spot there, top of the stretch, straightened out, was able to hold on. I thought Catching Freedom ran well, despite not having that contested flow that we thought we might get.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was Preakness 149, and the countdown to 150 officially begins
Seize
now.
the Gray number 100. That's the early buyer on C's,
There we go.
the gray. But yeah, very good performance there. It was fun. Yeah, but I'm glad to be back. It was a nice little break. You said you bounced back probably better than ever from prior Preaknesses.
Prior Preaknesses. This is my best recovery, and because I did it well this time.
Okay.
It takes a couple years to get the rhythm going, but stay tuned for next year on my recovery.
We get a little older, we get a little wiser. I remember those Preaknesses back in the day when I was 24, 25, just rolling in here about 7:30, 8 o'clock, having no clue where I was. It took a while to recover.
Glad to have you in a proper clear mind here for us, Keith, here as we go on to the rest of Friday's card. Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck, everybody.